In this episode, we're going to talk about what pesticides to consider if you're a homeowner looking to treat for bed bugs. Welcome everybody to Bedbug TV. I'm your host, Jeff White. And in today's episode, I want to talk to everybody from a homeowner's perspective, what pesticides you should consider in regards to treating for bed bugs. So this episode, we have one out there that's more designed for the pest control industry, and this one, as I said, is more designed for the homeowner that's looking for information on what to use when treating for bed bugs. I'll tell you right now, and so you can stop watching if you want, I'm not going to recommend any specific products. I'm going to talk about products big picture, what you need to be thinking about. And so obviously I have a lot of pest control products right here in front of me. These are what we call liquid residuals or liquid pesticides that you would mix in a spray tank and apply accordingly. And then these two and this one here are dust pesticides. And so when it comes to liquids, most pest control companies will use one of these and apply it to the baseboards or wherever the label recommends. The most important thing that I can say about pesticides is no matter what you're doing inside your home, make sure you're following the label recommendations. All pesticides have directions associated with them and things you should and shouldn't do. It's there for your protection. You need to be following them. The biggest issue I encounter when it comes to dealing with homeowners is they go out, buy something, and in a panic, they don't follow the label and they spray it all over the place, and they can cause health issues in regards to those pesticides. And so follow the label directions. With the liquids, typically going to be applied on baseboards and other areas that are label permitted, and what they're going to do is hopefully after they dry, they're going to have some effect on the bed bugs. Now I can tell you firsthand that a lot of these liquids, once they dry, may have little effect on the bed bugs as they move around in an environment. It's going to differ and depend upon the resistance profile of the bugs inside your house, the actual pesticide that you applied. And so the bottom line is if you're a homeowner treating your house, you can't afford a pest control professional. And really that's the first thing you should do is contact a pest control professional to treat your home. But obviously I recognize there's a lot of people watching this that can't afford that. And so considering a liquid, following the label directions is one thing I would be considering. In regards to the liquids, you can get products that mix, that come in concentrates like this bottle online at several different websites. Just know you need to follow label directions in regard to mixing them as well. There are ready-to-use products that you can buy over the counter at your local hardware store. Just know that all those liquids, once you apply them and they dry, they may not have a huge effect on bed bugs. And so a lot of those products are about contact kill, spraying the bugs directly. Obviously, when it comes to the pest control professional type products, some of those will have some effect after the fact, but again, we just don't know what that is. So consider a liquid. The dust, though, may be the most important thing to consider. So obviously bed bugs hide in cracks and crevices. That's what they do. And so when we have bed bugs hiding associated with the bed or the headboard or the wall or whatever the case may be, you need to be using some sort of dust to treat those cracks and crevices. And you need to be as thorough as you possibly can. Again, follow label directions. Some of these dusts will be labeled to treat, let's say, the inside of a box spring, but some may not. And so, again, you want to follow label directions. You want to be using a dust to treat cracks or crevices. And this episode can be used to evaluate the pest control company that's treating your house. Let's say you did hire a pest control company and you want to know if what they're using is good for bed bugs. I can tell you that there's no real straightforward answer to that. There's lots of pesticides that are good for bed bugs. And for most people, it's not about what you're using, it's how you're using it. And the analogy that I use, and this is an important point, is that just because you have a toolbox doesn't mean that you can rebuild a car engine. You have to know how to use the tools to rebuild the car engine. Just because you have pesticides doesn't mean that you can eliminate bed bugs. You have to know what to do and where to apply them. And so that's the most important point in this entire video. It's not about what you're using, it's how you're using it. And if you don't have any pest control experience, just because you have the products doesn't mean you're going to be able to solve bed bugs. And so I respect that people sometimes have to try this on their own. I get it, I understand, and that's why I created this video, is to talk a little bit about the big categories of things you can consider, but really you need somebody or you need to get training on how to do this properly. And so that's kind of an overview of pesticides. You need to be considering a liquid residual, and you need to be probably using multiple ones. You need to be considering a dust to treat cracks and crevices. And then beyond that, you need to be considering monitors. You need to be considering encasements, vacuums, steamers. All those things can help treat bedbug infestations and address any resistance concerns that might be associated with that bedbug infestation. And so if you have any questions, jeff.white@bedbugcentral.com, and I hope to see everybody soon enough.